Hi, it's Heather with another installment of R-Rated Reviews. And this is going to be, I'm reviewing something that I did like the review video on a few days ago, and I decided not to post that one. And this is the perfect example of why I don't like doing unboxing videos. You do not know whether something is good or not, opening it and trying it one time. You need to use it, get used to it, and figure out, or at least I need to use it and get used to the nuances, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I got the cooler, and I had this like happy dick video where I'm like jumping up and down. It came a day early. I almost left the job to come home and get it because it was during that ridiculous heat wave, which we're still sort of in the middle of. And I love this cooler, but now I've had it. It came on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and today's Sunday. So I've had it for 4 or 5 days, and it's in my car. It's a fantastic concept. This is the Ryobi portable electric battery operated hybrid cooler, and it's luckily it fits nicely in my trunk. So the thing is, I love the cooler, love it, and I'm going to go over all of its features. I'm wondering if maybe I should have read all the Q&A. There's a bunch of Q&A on the Home Depot website that people ask about the cooler and what you can do with it and what its features are and stuff like that. And if I had read it, I'm not saying I wouldn't have purchased it. I still would have gotten it. But I'm wondering if maybe they're probably going to come out with a better one down the road. I'm not sure. So it runs on either an outlet. It does run very well right through my cigarette lighter, the 12 volt. Plug it into the cigarette lighter holder. Works great. It runs on two 18 volt batteries. I've put very weak batteries in there. Excuse me. And it runs great. It cools down very fast. It goes. I had the numbers were a little off when I first did my review preview. It goes down to -4. It will go up to 68. It takes about 20 minutes. The website says it takes 20 to 25 minutes to get it down to like, I think 38 degrees. I think it went down faster than that. It has a battery saver mode, which is like regular power, and then there's like a snowflake where you hit it and it cools down much faster. It's a great cooler. And I was also wrong when I said it's like 24 cans. It's 24 quarts. It holds 40 12-ounce cans or bottles. I've jammed it with a lot of stuff, and it works really good. But it has a few annoyances about it, just things that you have to get used to. So I mentioned originally that I have the cooler on the front of my trailer. It has the easiest access. It doesn't get moved. It stays there. And I do have more room on my trailer now, because without my other cooler there, my 2 tool buckets are now, my 5-gallon buckets now fit on the tongue of my trailer where they were taking up room in the back. So it's great that I don't have to have my cooler there anymore. And the reason I don't have my cooler there anymore is because you can't get this wet. So I mentioned that Ryobi was saying, at least on the Q&A, that it's pretty much for like power outages in your house. It's for camping, if you have a cabin. I was thinking tailgate, things like that. But they do mention that they didn't design it to be outside with the sun beating on it the way any other cooler would be. So it's got the LCD screen at the top. I'm going to take it out and go over it, but I just wanted to mention these things before I forget it, and then I'll do it in detail. It'll run for, they tell you not to run it for more than 72 consecutive hours, which I have no issue with that. It'll keep your items cold for up to 36 hours. That I don't know if I can completely agree with, because I've gotten it down. I keep it at like 32. That's cold. And it runs on Fahrenheit. Somebody said they wanted to know if it could be switched to Celsius. It cannot be. So it's just the Fahrenheit. But 32 is cold. I don't need -4 unless I'm trying to freeze something. It's got a bottle opener on it. It has 1 USB charging port for a phone. I thought it was 2, but I guess it's 1. I've got the wheels on it. It's got a handle that you lift the handle up. The LCD screen is in the top of it. It's just a strip. So you can't get this wet, which is why it's in the trunk of my car. I'm gonna get it. Let me pull it out. And actually, it's not as heavy as I thought it would be. I know I'm always bitching about things being heavy. It's really not any heavier than any other cooler that's full if you have to lift it. It's got a condenser in it. So it runs on a condenser with Freon. And, you know, because the compartment is a little smaller than a regular cooler because of the condensing unit, when it's full, it's really not any heavier than a regular cooler that's packed. So let me grab it. Let me move my roof. It's got 4 tie downs on it. I won't be able to use the tie downs only because I can't leave this on my trailer. And I gotta take this bag out first. Okay. So, here's your handle. Woo! And my roof just fell. All right, and I have it plugged in. Let me unplug it. Okay. So your handle is stored here. The wheels are on one side. You just drag it, not a problem. It's really not, it's not very heavy. I don't even think I have it full right now. So you push this button here. Right now I've only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have like 17 bottles in it right now. So it's not full. This is your battery compartment. Let me bring this down. Okay, so the reason I don't want to make like a dick video, because I got this for $400 and that was 20% off on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale. It probably is. If it wasn't 20% off, I wouldn't have paid $500. That's just ridiculous, but $400 is not much less ridiculous. So your battery compartment is here. People were asking online. I didn't even know Ryobi makes a 12-volt battery. You cannot fit a 12-volt battery in and close the door. So, but the 18-volt, a 12 amp, all the 18-volt batteries will fit in here except the 12 amp. 6 amp fits, 4 amp fits. I've run it on a 6 and a 4 that had like half a charge on the 4 and 3/4 of a charge on the 6, and it ran for a very long time with no issue. Your buttons are here. So once you close this whole side of the cooler here is not cooler. That's the condensing unit. So it's 24 quarts and holds 40 bottles. That's 12 ounce bottles. So that's your little Gatorades. These, I can still get like 25 bottles in there, even when they're larger. My Monster cans fit, all that stuff fits. There's an LED light over here that lights up when you open it. The charging port is in the LCD screen under a little flap. So you can put your USB in there if you want to charge your phone. Your power button is here. This is the snowflake setting button. This is your plus and minus. So you can digitally choose your temperature. The other cool thing about it, at least for me, is it tells you which battery has how much power in it and how many volts it's drawing from each battery. So some of my indicators on my older batteries aren't working. When you press them, they just don't do anything because they're just old. So I never know if they're really full or not. Now when I plug them in, it tells me that it's half a charge or a full charge. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So it's an added bonus that I don't think was designed for the feature, but I found it and I love it. That part's great. So here's your bottle opener. Right here. It's got these. Tie down 4 of them, 2 on each side. You put the wheels on when it comes, easy enough to do. I actually sat on this the other day. I don't know if it has a seating capacity, but I sat on it. The issue that I have with, not issue so much, just something that I feel like you have to take into consideration if you're going to spend $400 on a cooler. Like, this is Yeti type fucking pricing. And I think anyway. I don't own anything Yeti. I just know someone who spent $80 on a fucking coffee tumbler, and and then feels the need to put a bumper sticker in his window to announce that he uses Yeti products. So you just spent $80 on a fucking coffee tumbler, and now they get free marketing because you stick a sticker in your window, proudly displaying that you wasted your money on a coffee tumbler. This is something to really think about, and the reason I say that is you can't get it wet. I wish that the design features on it were slightly different. And what I mean by that is that this is your battery compartment. And if you notice, it has a tray that runs along the edges of it where the lid fits into it. That's great, because to me that means if any water drips into the exterior of it, like in a small quantity, it's gonna hit this tray. And it's not going to go into the battery compartment because your battery compartments are gone. Your batteries are gone if they get wet. Why not seal it? Why don't they take this LCD screen that can't get wet and put it inside the battery compartment so that it can get wet? It can be exposed to the elements. It's not as much use to me if I can't put it with easy access to the trailer. My other cooler sat where these buckets are. And yeah, I love having that extra space. The difference is I change vehicles. I don't want to have to keep taking this cooler and moving it from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle. I wanted it on my trailer. Now that may not be an issue for a lot of people out there. It is for me. Here's where the plug goes in over here. There's your port for the plug. It comes with the car charging port, with the car power port. I'm going to get that and show it to you. Yes, I'm sitting on it again. I was really happy to see that it came with both adapters for power. I thought I was going to have to buy the car outlet one separately, but they did include both. This is your wall outlet. They both have the same plug, so it's not like you have to have different ports for different plugs. And then this is your 12-volt car charging one. So it's long enough that from the trunk, I have a Wrangler Sahara Unlimited, I think, and it's long enough. Barely. I've got a couple of extra inches left over. Doesn't every girl want a couple of extra inches left over? So it will go, if I keep it in the trunk, I can run the cord through the back seat in between the two front seats and right into the outlet in the dashboard, and I don't have an issue with it working. So it's long enough there. I just thought of something the other day that bugged the shit out of me that's important to know, because not everybody has a really convenient trunk where you can swing a door open and you just have access. If you have like a drop-in trunk or a pickup truck, it might be different if you have to switch vehicles. So the other day, I had to bring the Jeep into the shop so I could pay $600 for them to redo the tie rod job that TJ did for me. Different conversation. And I used the pickup truck that day. So my pickup truck is a Sonoma. It's an older Sonoma. It's got the little club coupe back seat. The cooler fit in the back seat. But you got to slide. You got to put the front seat forward because it's that old club coupe. The door doesn't open for the back seat. So you slide the passenger seat forward on the rails. You put the cooler in, and it has the port to charge it, which was fine. But it was a little annoying to have to keep moving the seat forward to lift the cooler lid open to access the beverages inside. And instead of using batteries all day, I used the regular power pack, and I had to run extension cords through the window of the truck to get it to the outlet that was outside at the job site. So I'm gonna plug it in. It has a very low hum. You don't really hear it. It's pretty quiet for the condensing unit. And I'll show you when I plug it in what the temperature is when we start and how quickly it drops. So let me do that quick. I plugged it in, and you don't even have to hit the power button. As soon as it's plugged in, it turned on. It says it's at 70 right now. I have it on the snowflake mode, which is the quick. It's drawing 14.3 volts, and it's set for 30 degrees. Let me put it at 32. It was really hot the other day, and when it was really hot, it did struggle a little bit to keep the temperature because it shuts off automatically. So if it hits 32 and you have it set for 32, it's going to shut off. It's like a regular thermostat in your house. It goes up a degree, down a degree, it turns on and off. So because it was struggling to stay at 32, granted it was 95 degrees, it was ridiculously hot. I covered it with a towel or a jacket or something, because when the cooler got hot, that's where I noticed the struggle the most. So I put it down to 32 just so that it would stay. I put it down to 30 so that it would stay at 32. It can't go on your trailer because the questions and the Q&A on the Home Depot website specifically indicated that, much like, you know, a dorm fridge or your garage freezer, it has a condenser. So if it's super cold out or if it's super hot, it doesn't run the same. It's not effective. So that's what I find ineffective about the whole thing. I have to keep it in a car. I have to make sure it's protected. I feel like it's a lot of work. It replaces ice. I don't need ice. I'm very excited that when I open this thing up, I still have to get used to the fact that when I open it, initially I'm like, fuck, there's no ice in there. It's going to be warm. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's very cold. But it's a little high maintenance. I wish that you could, maybe don't make it gray where it absorbs the heat from the sun. Maybe come up with a concept where it's lighter, it's white like my Coleman top that reflects the heat. Maybe put the LCD panel inside the battery compartment where you don't really need to access it all day long. Maybe make the battery compartment waterproof like you do on the pressure washer and on the power scrubber. These are just little nuances that, you know, I don't know, Ryobi, call me before you come up with this shit, because I'll tell you what it needs. I know what it needs. I'm very high maintenance when it comes to stuff like this. I can help you out. So it's a fantastic cooler. In fact, I wanted to see how long it's going to take. I just don't like having to move it. I love it. I would buy it again on sale. I would not pay full price for it. The batteries work just as well as an outlet or the car charger. There is no issue with any of that. My only issue is the inconvenience. This is supposed to be more convenient of not having to get ice. This is supposed to be more convenient than a lot of things. But if you have to baby it, and I'm not good at babying tools. This to me is a tool. It was an investment for my business. I can't baby a tool. I beat the shit out of them. It's what you do with them. You use them a lot. I'm going to use this every single day. It's going to get used. It's going to get abused. I'm going to treat it with respect, but it's still going to get used and abused. It's not like I'm going to drop it down the stairs like my gas washer. I don't want to have to baby a cooler. I think that a little more thought should have gone into what people would be using it for. Yeah, it's great for camping. It's great for your house. It's great for a cabin. How many people are buying a Ryobi cooler for those reasons? If you're buying Ryobi tools, it's because you work with tools. Think about the contractor that's out there and what purpose they need a cooler for. It's going on a trailer. It's going in a truck. This is not going to be easy enough to lift in and out of the back seat of a truck or wobbling on a cushion. Put it in the bed of your truck. It's just as exposed as it is on my trailer. Those are my only issues, which is why I'm not going to do my happy dick jumping up and down fucking review where I was like, yay! I love it. But realistically, it has some feature flaws. Great concept. The execution is almost there. I still recommend. I don't know if I highly recommend it. It depends on what your needs are. This is definitely something that you just have to think about. This is why I'm glad I didn't just do an unboxing video and be like, yay, woo! I've used it for 5 days now, and in those 5 days, every day there was something about it that annoyed me. I'm still happy to have it. I need it. But there are other brands and models available out there. I did not look at them. I didn't even know this was a concept. But when I looked at it on the website, it's like, oh, other people looked at. So there are other companies. I don't know if any of them make them where they can get wet or be out in the sun or protected from the elements. I'm not sure. I like my cooler very much. My beverages, actually, they're sweating. So it's been 2 days since this cooler has been on. It's Sunday, and I haven't plugged it in since like Friday afternoon. It's not ice cold, but it's still cold. They're sweating now because there's condensation on them. There's a drain plug in the bottom of the cooler, and it's a good size. It's actually a great size. Somehow it manages to fit in my trunk with my roof and my bag of, you know, trunk gear. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. But I am a little surprised that no one said anything about the hilarious shirt that I wore the other night that said, I flexed and the sleeves fell off. I mean, come on, that's the most obnoxious shirt. And I thought it was hilarious that I wore it. So now I'm going to start putting on all my funny, hysterical t-shirts. I have a collection of the most inappropriate, hilarious t-shirts. I made this one the other day. Somebody better say something about it. Hold on. If you get it. And then I want to show, oh, wrong, it's in my Jeep. Who said something to me yesterday about keeping a Walmart plastic bag in their car with toilet paper and all kinds of shit to make bathroom options more viable? And I was like, I'll see your Walmart bag and I will raise you one Rubbermaid bin. Because I had to pee outside. Okay, I fucking peed outside. Goes with the territory. This is my little pink box. Personal items and toiletries. I told you this is what I kept in here. Butt wipes. Of course, I got my girly stuff. I have face wipes. I got butt wipes. Q-tips. Hair bands. Toothpaste. Extra toothbrush. Tweezers for splinters. Deodorant. Febreze, little perfume, and then I have antibacterial wipes. So, and then I usually keep, I don't know if this is a giveaway, I'm not going to discuss this stuff. I usually keep extra of those plastic handle garbage bags that we're not allowed to have in New York anymore. Fuck you, New York. I get them. I'm not going to tell you where I get them, but I keep them. They'll either double, they're either a trash bag or they double as a 5-gallon bucket liner. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you guys have questions or comments about the cooler, feel free to leave them. Questions or comments about the cooler. Not necessarily about my hygiene, my toiletries box. Please leave them. And if you want to hit like or subscribe, I would love that. Have a great day, guys.